everyone. Welcome to Gardening for Better Health. This is Henry B. 723 coming to you today from my kitchen. I hope everything is going well where you are. Here at my place today, we are under a severe storm watch. We are about to get snow. They're saying up to 6 inches, and it's snowing now. And we also are scheduled to get some freezing rain tonight and tomorrow with more snow. But it's February in Michigan, so it's to be expected around here. But I hope that things are better where you are. That's not too bad because it keeps me in the house doing some productive things. Today, I wanted to take you along with me because I am about to pressure can milk. Now, pressure canning milk is not one of the approved, tested recipes that you would find in some of the books on canning, but people have been canning milk for years and years. And so I thought I would can some milk today to have some on my shelf. I do have some powdered milk, okay, and I do have some 1% milk that I use for some cooking, but I want to have some shelf-stable milk in my pantry just in case. I don't like the powdered milk. It's here for emergencies, and anything will do in a pinch, but I don't like the taste of the powdered milk, and I definitely don't like the taste of the 1% milk, though it can be used in different things. But I really like whole milk, and that's generally what I buy when I go to the store is the whole milk. No particular brand is being advocated for in this video. This is not sponsored, but I do like whole milk, and so that's what I'm going to be canning today. And the process for canning whole milk is pretty much like you would do when you're canning other things, but the processing time is different because milk, of course, you don't want to leave it in the canner too long because it will get too dark. And anytime you can milk, the color is going to be a little bit darker than what it is when it's not canned, but the color of the milk has nothing to do with the taste, and that's what I'm going for, is the taste. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to can up this milk. I'll take you along with me for most of it because it's a simple process, and I think that once you see it, you'll say, oh, okay, I might want to try that. But do remember, it's not an approved method. So if you can the milk, you do it at your own risk. I'm just going to show you how I can the milk that I use, and I've gotten good results. So we're going to start now with some milk. I'm using pint-sized jars. The processing time would be a little bit different if you were using quarts. But because I don't use a lot of milk at one time, I'm going to do pints. 9 times out of 10, when I use milk, I'm using it for cereal or to put in some cooking, things like that. So I don't use a lot of it. So I only need a pint size to be available to me, because once you open it, then it's just like regular milk. You have to refrigerate it. And I'm trying to get away from having milk in the refrigerator just in case there's an outage of electricity or something. I don't want my milk to spoil. So I'm putting it in pint-sized jars so that 9 times out of 10, when I open it, I'll be using the whole jar at one time and not have to refrigerate it. So I've got a little funnel here, and I'm going to fill this jar and leave a 1-inch headspace in these jars. That's one. And it's so quick and easy to do. I recommend that if you decide to can milk, that you can as much as you can at one time, depending on your pantry space. With the times that we're living in, things are disappearing from the shelves in the store. I was in the store yesterday when I bought this milk. I bought this milk and a couple of other things. I did not dare go look at the eggs. Do you hear me? I did not dare go look at the eggs. I didn't even want to know how much they were charging for the eggs yesterday. I stayed away from that refrigerated section on purpose. Because in some places, not only are the eggs expensive, in some places, they're not even on the shelves. So I didn't even want to know yesterday. I just went on and bought the other things that I came into the store to buy. But there are shortages of several things already. And there's going to be shortages of more different things as time goes on. And prices are constantly going up. So if you can find what you want in the store, my suggestion to you is to not buy one, but buy several to tide you over. Let me get some paper towel here to wipe this table. I suggest you get several of the things you normally use, so you have some on hand, because we don't know what availability is going to be. So if you see it, get it if you can. Just like with milk, I do like cooking with milk. I like drinking milk. If I have something like cake, I like to have cake and milk. Or if I have donuts, I like donuts with milk. So I always like to have whole milk on hand. Now I'm looking here. This is one. I'll put a little bit more here. Here we go. That's 1 gallon. That 1 gallon filled up 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 jars. I'm going to open up this other gallon of milk over here. Now, before I started the video, I did go ahead and open this milk and I tasted it. Even though these particular containers have an expiration date best used by March 1st, I always test it, because I have gotten milk from the store with a lengthy expiration date on it, and it was spoiled when I bought it. So I've gotten a habit now of whenever I buy milk, I always taste test it before I put it away or before I use it. Because sometimes in the store things happen. Sometimes their refrigerators go out for a period of time and they won't tell you, or they don't tell you. And things sit in there and they spoil. And then you come along later thinking that it's okay and buy it, get it home, and then you're disappointed. So I'm going to I'll put a little bit more in this one too. I'm going to do these 12 jars. And I have, my jars were sterilized, and after they were sterilized, I took them out of the dishwasher and The jars are currently cold jars. The milk is cold. There's water in the canner, and the water in the canner is cold. So everything that I'm using is cold. Here for these lids, the lids are just warm. They're not hot. And I only warmed them because that will help them to seal if they're warm, but they're by no means a huge difference in temperature from the jars. So we've got lids going on the jars. Oh. And you know what? I did not wipe the rims on these jars before I put the lids on. So I am glad that I remembered that detail before I went through and put the rings on. So we are going to get some paper towel over here. Now, purposely, I'm not going to put vinegar on this paper towel to wipe the rims. For milk, I would not want any vinegar to mix into the milk. I can wipe the rims with water on this paper towel to remove any excess on here. So we're going to do that. And I see something there. Oh. I see a little piece of dust that fell in there when I was manipulating that lid. So we're going to get another piece of paper towel. I'll re-wipe these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'll switch paper towels just to make sure. Seven, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. How about that? Now we can progress to the lids. 1, 2. And with this magnet, you always have to check to make sure that you're only picking up one lid, because it will pick up more than one lid at a time. And when it does, you just need to see it and separate it before you put it on your jar. There we go. So what about you? Have you canned anything lately? Have you helped anyone you know who wants to can and doesn't know how? Have you helped them learn how to can? It's to everybody's benefit to know how to can, so that they can do some things to help themselves and their family, to have food on the shelf whenever they need it. Sometimes people want to learn how to can and they're afraid because they may have heard rumors about it being dangerous or anything like that. You could provide a great service to your family and friends that do not can if you encourage them to do so, and if they're not sure how to do it, if you can show them, that would be great. That would help them tremendously if you encourage them and they actually started to can some food for themselves and their family. We're all going to need it. We're all going to need it. So let's help each other the best we can as we all go through this time frame. We all want to do well and survive. Now with these rings, you're doing fingertip tight on the rings. Okay, we're just moving right along. So as you can see, the steps are real easy. You just make sure that your jars are sterilized, that your jars are cool, because the milk that you're using is cool, that the water in your canner is cool, and that with your lids, because they don't recommend that you boil the lids anymore, the lids just need to be a little bit warm. Soak the lids in some warm water, and there you have it. So I am going to put these jars in the canner behind me. Like I said, the canner is cool. I'll put the jars in there. And I'm going to double stack these because my canner will allow me to add another lid. Once the bottom is done, I'll add another lid on top and stack them so that I'll be able to get all 12 of these jars in the canner. Once I do that, I'll turn the fire on and I will let the water come to a boil, and I will let it come to the point where it's steam coming out of the vent pipe on this lid. My lid has already been inspected. I can see through the vent hole in the lid, and I will bring these up to pressure after I vent it for 10 minutes. Then I'll bring it up to pressure for 10 pounds of pressure. Once it reaches 10 pounds of pressure, what I'm going to do is come in and I will process these jars for 10 minutes. Processing time is what makes a difference when you're canning milk. Some people, when they can their milk, they'll just bring it up to pressure to 10 pounds and turn it off and they're done. I don't like to do that. I like to give it some time once it's reached pressure, so I leave mine in for 10 minutes. Other people leave theirs in for 15 minutes. But I found that 10 minutes works for what I needed to do, so that's what I'm going to do. Once I bring that up to pressure and I go ahead and get it processed for 10 minutes, then I'll bring you back and I'll show you the outcome. Back in a minute. Well, everyone, the processing of this milk is now complete. It was into the canner. The canner was brought up to where it starts to vent. It vented for 10 minutes. After it vented for 10 minutes, I put the weight on. I'm with 10 pounds of pressure for my area. And then once it came up to pressure, I let it go ahead and process for 10 minutes. After that 10 minutes time, I turn the fire off and I have let it cool. So right now it is cool, and I'm going to take this weight off. Here's the weight. Weight came off. And so it has cooled down. There should be no more pressure in this canner. So now that the pressure is gone, it's safe. I see it's down to 0 over here, saying that there's no pressure built up in this canner. And I've taken the weight off, so let's go and take these off so that we can open this up. Here's the other glove. And I'm going to turn these toggles so that I'll be able to open the lid 2 at a time. Unscrew these other 2. And the last 2. Now, even though there's no pressure in here, this canner is extremely hot. So what I always tell people, when you're opening your canner lid, make sure you open the lid away from you so that that steam does not go into your face. So I'm going to turn this for a second. Let that sit. And now I am going to lift this away from me. Look at all that steam. That's why you lift it away from you. All right. I'm going to bring you over so you can see into this canner. Our jars are in there. So I have 5 jars on top and 7 jars on the bottom. So we'll begin taking these out. I hear it in there because it's hot. I'm going to just get a good grip. Take this out. Get a good grip here. Take that one out. And always, when you're taking food out of your canner, please be sure to use your jar lifter. Do not try to stick your hand in here and lift these jars because you will get burned. Here we go. Here's the last one on top. Okay, now that's all that's on the top. I'm going to get a knife out of this drawer so that I can take this lid off. Those jars were sitting on this lid. So I'm going to move this so that I can access the jars that are underneath. Here we go. There's popping going on over there. That means the jars are sealing. Oh, I love that sound of jars sealing like they're supposed to. Oh, I dropped that one. We'll get this one instead. Here's another one. All right, and now I'm going in for the one that fell over. Let's see. Trying to stand it up is an issue. Let me see about this knife. There we go. Now, it fell over, but no milk spilled. So now the canner is empty. And over here, we have 12 jars of whole milk that have been canned. These jars will sit over here overnight, and then in the morning, I'll come down, check them out, see if they're all sealed, and sometime during the day, I'll wipe the jars off and take the rings off, label them, and I will put them on my pantry shelf. So there it goes. I love it. So that's how I can whole milk. As I said, this is not one of the tested recipes, so you won't find it in the books, but people have been doing this for years, and I like the outcome, so that's why I do it. I'm not telling you to do it, I'm just showing you how I do it. This is Henry B 723. Have a wonderful day. Like, share, and subscribe. See you in the next video.